Hello, all. How is everyone doing? So, got a little bit of story this afternoon. See here. It says here, a woman decided to shrug off the burden of finding a husband and explains how it has changed her life. Interesting. She looks a little ripe. So I can imagine it's just a coincidence that she decided to give up on marriage around this time in her life. Interesting. She decided to give up when the chips are down. Interesting concept. Most people do exactly that. You would think. Anyways, a woman recently recorded a life-altering realization she came to, sharing it with others, explaining that the lesson was for anyone who might need to hear it. She learned how to live fully for herself in pursuit of her own best interest and let others know she arrived at that moment. That's an interesting thought. Live fully for yourself in pursuit of your own best interest. That's a very isolating principle to live by. But let's see what she has to say. The woman shrugged off the burden of finding a husband, and the decision changed her life. Heather Diamond Labe stood amidst a clearing in the forest, sun filtering through the trees. Watching her, it felt easy to imagine she's been on a hike and in her solitude found the words to express her innermost thoughts. The highest use of your life is not to secure and support marriage. You don't support marriage, sweetheart. Marriage supports you. Here's the thing that you don't seem to understand because you want to live fully for yourself and in the best interest of yourself. Here's the thing. Life is a team sport for all living things. And the problem is supporting yourself and living fully for yourself sounds good until you cannot support yourself any longer. Then you become someone else's problem. Imagine you get injured. You can't support yourself anymore. You become someone else's problem. You happen on a large financial expense. You got sued, you're injured, you got to pay all those medical bills yourself, whatever it is. And now you don't have the money. Now you become someone else's problem. You're old. You can no longer take care of yourself. You become someone else's problem. Marriage was an insurance policy because back in the day, no life insurance. And life insurance doesn't support you unless it's over for you. Marriage was a living insurance policy. As long as you're alive, you have someone else that you can count on and they can count on you. It was literally a contract to form a team with someone to go through life together so that you can support each other when you can no longer support yourselves. And a marriage is great if you can both individually support yourselves and you don't bring harm to the other person or you don't drag the other person down. Marriage is great. But if one of you fail, then the other one is there to support you. That is the contract. So essentially what you're saying is that you gave up on marriage in order to pursue your own self-interest and your own self-goal. And when the chips are down and you need someone else to support you, and then you can no longer rely on the charity of other people because you're going to be a burden, there's going to be no one there for you. There's going to be no one there for you, and you become a ward of the state because no one wants to be burdened with you anymore. That is what you're looking forward to. As long as you're fine with that, as long as you're fine with knowing that the only person you can depend on is you, and if you fail, that's the end of it. Then do you. I personally would never get married, but I would also know that I can only really depend on me. There's no one else that's going to support me in my life. And that's the case for most men, if not all men. That is a reality that we know, that we can't be a burden because no one is going to be there to pick up the slack for us. And that's why men don't pursue marriage as hard as women do. But you've come to the realization that the best way to go about life is to just think about yourself. Thousands of years of human history, all variations of how life can go for a human being has been tried. And people came to the conclusion that it's a team sport. You found yourself in an unfortunate situation and you've awoken to an epiphany that you should go this alone. I wish you the best. Lebe detailed that 3 major forces in her life, her family, faith, and culture, have all conspired for the entirety of her life to convince her that the best and highest use of her life, body, mind, and heart was to secure and support a lifelong monogamous heterosexual romantic partnership. I don't know how she came to that conclusion. Marriage is meant to support you, sweetheart, not the other way around. She revealed that she spent most of her life sacrificing all her energy and her other relationships in pursuit of that particular goal. What other relationships? Sexual? One-night stands? Flings? You're sacrificing those things to pursue a goal that you ultimately failed at. I don't know how. You have all the tools necessary to gain a husband, but you didn't make it. She explained that she wanted to meet the expectations placed upon her by those 3 entities in order to secure the validation and acknowledgement they might bestow upon her. Right. It has been in the best interest of those institutions, those systems, but it has not been in my best interest, she stated. How so? How is you getting married in the best interest of everyone else but you? You're the one pursuing it. You're the one that wanted it. And you pursued something and you wanted something. And then when you can't, you can no longer have it. You're turn around and you said, it wasn't that I wanted it. Is that other people made me want it? Is that other things made me want to do this? You absolve yourself of the responsibility of your own actions as an adult and saying that you were brainwashed into wanting the thing that you don't have anymore, that you can't have anymore. That is one way to justify failure, I suppose. It has been, what is this now? Photo, is that the same chick? Was there a lady twice the size of her in the back of her? Okay. That is not the best and highest use of my life, she concluded. I guess it's not the best or highest use of your life, but you can do both. You can pursue your own goals and get married. It doesn't have to be exclusive. All right. It is not the best and highest use of my body. Again, with this, not the best use of your life, your body, mind, your heart. I don't know how valuable you think those things are, but we all have them, which means it's mundane and readily available. It's not special that you have a body, a heart, and mind, and we all have that. And there's a reason that we don't all pursue the highest desires of our body, heart, mind, because those are emotional decisions and they tend to not be in our best interest in the long term. But you're not thinking long term. So I see why you came to that conclusion. And sacrifice wherever else I may have to make that relationship work alone, as if I were the only one responsible for it. And that's what I've done. And it has not been pleasant. Sweetheart, you'd be the only one responsible for whatever you're doing when you're single. And you can find a partner that works with you rather than one that works against you. You have choices in this. There's not just one thing that you get in one variation of a husband that you can get where you have to sacrifice everything and do all this just to maintain the relationship. You can actually find someone that you actually enjoy being around and enjoy doing things for, and that person wants to do for you, and you can make it an actual pleasurable experience that actually enrich your life instead of something that takes away from you. You have those choices. She continued on making her declaration of liberation. She acknowledged that her shifting mindset changed the way she lives her daily life, saying, sometimes in the last 4 to 5 days, I shrugged off that burden, and it's like living in a whole new world. Is it? It sounds like you reconfigure your perspective on your life, your failed life, and in your own self-delusion, you've temporarily made yourself happier about your situation. So what you did was you changed your mind instead of your situation, but ultimately you're in the exact same situation, and eventually reality is going to hit you upside the head and you're going to be right back where you try to get away from. Alone, struggling. All right. LaBelle decided she no longer expend her physical, mental, and emotional energy to secure one singular partner at the expense of all other relationships. You can do a poly thing. There's so many options. There's so many options. You can project your soul's desire in whatever relationship you want, and you can make that happen in reality. Her relation is a realization, her realization is a testament to listening to what your soul needs to feel nourished. Listening to what your soul needs to. Hopefully your soul needed that to feel nourished throughout the rest of your life. Because if it ever changes its mind, you're asked out. In seeking out one exclusive partnership, is she promoting poly? What is happening with this exclusive partnership stuff? LeBay came to understand what was missing in her life was true, actual connection to herself, to others. Now she's living in pursuit of her own authentic self, seeking her. Okay, so is she a lesbian? I don't. Is this the woman? I thought it was a white woman in the beginning. I don't understand. All these women have a lot of gum to show. But is she in any of these pictures? Uh, these there are so many forms of love and so many different kinds of relationships. Sweetheart, did you get old and realize that you're a lesbian? I don't understand what's happening right here. By solely focusing on a partner or an imagined partner, one might or might not appear in the future. We lose sight of living in the present moment. Yep. Why think about the future? It's not like you're old as hell. We eschew all other forms of partnership, whether they be in the form of siblinghood or friendship. No one does that. People keep their siblings and their friendships regardless of their marital status. What is this woman like mentally ill? Any other iteration of human connection. LaBelle's newfound understanding of herself and her decision to center her own needs and not the superimposed wishes of anyone else show that she's fully living freely. I don't know what the hell just happened. It's like she fully devolved into mental illness upon realizing that she's alone and she's going to be alone forever. And like she looks like she was crying earlier, and then she changed her mind and changed her mindset and deluded herself, and then she became happy, and then she decided to post this. That's what it appears to me. Anyways, till next time.